those of you across the pond and beyond, good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you. And thank you so much for joining us this evening on We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. So if you're listening to us live, I appreciate it. And you may be listening to us on KPNL Radio, which you can find on KPNL Radio at kpnl-tv.com. You may also find us on eTalk Radio, which you can find on eTalk Radio at etalk.tv/radio. You may also find us live on Facebook, if you're watching here right now, Twitch, as well as YouTube. If you want to listen to us on your free time, whether you're working it, or working out, make sure you go mosey on over to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe, like any video that you've watched or listened to, and leave us any comments, whether good or bad. We want to hear it all. We want to hear all of it. Any news? So if you're listening to us on your free time, you can listen to us under We Are Paradox Media at Spreaker, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Castbox, Tumblr, SoundCloud, TuneIn Radio, Deezer, Podcast Addict, Podcast Chaser, and Podvine. So unfortunately, life happens, and so our guest this evening, well, we were supposed to have Mr. and Mrs. J. and Marie Yates on this evening, and they had a family issue, and family comes first. So no worries, we're going to reschedule, so we'll do a later date with them. Guess what? Story time, me and you, let's do this. Bring it in. This last night as well, but I don't know, I apologize, I'm sorry, it's kind of like repetitious, and my hair is getting in the mouth. At the same time, I've been actually enjoying this book. I don't know if you have, but it's Death by Mr. Robert Wilkins, A History of Man's Obsessions and Fears. Been getting pretty willy-nilly, and with a lot of the stuff going on recently, I don't know, do you guys have experience? Let me pull this up on my Facebook. But last night, then I'm going to have to turn it down because it's really kind of loud. Crack! Why is it not on here? Go home and go back here. April 2nd. This last chapter is Century Embalming. That's been pretty grotesque. I don't know if you watch Watcher online, but yeah, they've been doing recently like video games, and then also there was a video game that they played recently that was about being a mortician's assistant, and that was pretty, like, they take the blood out one side, put the embalming fluid in the other side, and yeah, pretty intense. And they had to do different things, go around, find different codes, etc., etc. But I would play that game. That'd be pretty cool. So here we go. Lessons from Abroad. Walker wrote in 1839 about London's insanitary graveyards. More than 70 years after the Parliament of Paris taken action against health posed by rotting prion. All the churchyards of the French capital were henceforth to be closed to burials for at least 5 years. Furthermore, 8 cemeteries were to be established some distance away from the city, to serve the needs of 8 metropolitan parishes. The new law was not universally popular, since richer families still regarded burial in church as a birthright. Fresh pleas were made to the nobility to abandon their pride and vanity for the greater good of their fellow citizens. The noblest Frenchman of them all, Louis the 15th, was their fellow citizens. The noblest Frenchman of them all was persuaded to give the royal seal of approval when a large area of the forest of Satori at Versailles was designated a cemetery. The mere closure of the city graveyards was not enough. In 1786, it was decided to move all the bodies out of the cemetery of the innocents and transport them to catacombs hewn out of the quarries in the southern part of the city. It was an immense and awesome undertaking. On the night of April 7th, a long procession of funeral carts bearing the freshly cleaned bones of tens and thousands of people plied its route by torchlight to the chanting of priests. Identification of the individual remains was clearly impossible, but was decided to arrange the bones into rows of skulls, femurs, humeruses, and so on. It's variously estimated that the catacombs contain the remains of between 3 and 6 million human beings. In addition to the catacombs, 4 sentries were built in Paris. Okay, so is this sound too loud? Hey Mike, welcome back. So is the background music too loud? Just let me know. If so, like, I can turn it down a bit. Kind of looks like it's matching my voice. In addition to the catacombs, 4 cemeteries were built in Paris in order to accommodate the dead. Père-Lachaise, Montmartre, Vaugirard of Montparnasse, the first named after the confessor of Louis XV, 14th I think it is probably the most celebrated burial ground in the world, though its beginnings were less than auspicious. If Napoleon had been buried there, as was his intention, instead of on St. Helena, the businessmen who had invested money in the cemetery would have slept more easily. As it was, they were moved to mount a huge publicity campaign to try to persuade Parisians to be buried there. Even dug up the bones of famous Frenchmen and women who had been buried elsewhere and reinterred them in the cemetery. Molière, La Fontaine, Lois in Abelard, and Marchais. Ironically, it was the burial of persons who had never lived that finally gained Père Lachaise popularity. Hey Dan, how's it going? Good to see you, buddy. So the novelist Honoré de Balzac took to burying many of his fictional characters in Père Lachaise. Every Sunday, Parisians would come in droves and ask to see the tombs, which Balzac had described in such great detail. Henceforth, business boomed. Within its walls now rests illustrious dead of France, including Balzac, Hugo, Edith Piaf, Abelard, and Héloïse, and Colette, Beaumarchais, and Proust. Internal representatives include Chopin, Oscar Wilde, and Modigliani, and Sarah Bernhardt, and Jim Morrison of the Doors group. I love that guy. Okay, so here we have a picture I had to turn back. And this is a mechanical ramp by means of which coffins were transferred from the chapel above to the catacombs below at Kensal Green Cemetery in London. Check it out. Beginnings. Creepy. It's like, let's go up, up, up. Jim Morrison, I know. When I went to Louisiana, I thought he was there, but I know Jimi Hendrix was buried, not Jim Morrison. But I got confused for a second, and so I was looking for that too. Lessons from abroad. Walker wrote in 1839 about London's insanity graveyards, more than 70 years after the Parliament of Paris had taken action against the dangers to health posed by rotting carrion. All the churchyards of the French capital were henceforth to be closed to burials for at least 5 years. Furthermore, 8 cemeteries were to be established some distance away from the city. To serve the needs of 8 metropolitan parishes, I feel like I've read this before. The new law was not universally popular, since richer families still regarded burial in church as a birthright. Fresh pleas were made to the nobility to abandon their pride and vanity for the greater good of their fellow citizens. The noblest Frenchman of them all, Louis, I'm telling you, I've read this, Louis XV, was persuaded to give the royal seal of approval when a large area of the forest of Satori at Versailles was designated a cemetery. But mere closure of the city graveyards was not enough. In 1786, it was decided to move all the bodies out of the cemetery to the Innocents and transport them to the catacombs hewn out of the quarries. Yes, I did read this. So, laggardly London. When Paris led the way and New York followed close behind, London dragged its feet. In 1843, the builder expressed its dismay. This London, the center of civilization, its condensation of wisdom and intelligence, this huge wedge of conglomerate of pride buries, no, it does not bury, but stores and piles up to 50,000 of its dead to putrefy, to rot, to give out, but stores exhalations, to darken the air with vapors, though, even as late as 1850, an anonymous poem entitled City Graves appeared in Household Words. The toilet at his work can see the tombs of his mouldering kin, and the living without grow day by day, more like the dead within. I saw from out the earth peep forth the white and glistening bones, jagged ends of coffin planks, that e'en the worm disowns, and once a smooth round skull rolled on, like a football on the stones. The risks to health were not confined to the inhalation of pest vapors. Sometimes the very water people drank was supplied by springs that tracked through graveyards. St. George's in the east had a pump which provided drinking water to the locality until during a cholera scare. Reverend Harry Jones hung up a placard announcing Dead Men's Broth. Charles Dickens, when he heard the pump being used to draw water, would conjure up images of the dead posturing. Let us lie here in peace. Don't suck us up and drink us. Ew, that's kind of grody. And that's what I was talking about last night. Like, okay, so they're talking about polluted waters and these pipes and all these other things happening. What about the people in the ground, like polluting the springs all around? Like, they've kind of been disseminated and they've been embalmed. Hello, Mr. Morris. Yay, thank you. Thank you for that. I'm glad it sounds good. So good to see you, Scotland's Edge. One of my favorite people to say. In the first quarter of the 19th century, despite an ever-increasing population, citizens of London continued to be buried either in churchyards or in privately owned areas. And these were done within the city limits. So the calls for the establishment of cemeteries sited away from centers of population grew even louder. So the Rosary, first English, followed 6 years later. Okay, so the first English cemetery was finally opened in 1819 in Norwich. The Liverpool necropolis followed 6 years later. It was not until 1830 that a barrister, George Carden, formed the London Cemetery Company to provide public interment for Londoners. In 1832, I'm gonna get ahead. The company opened London's first public cemetery at Kensal Green. The first interment was Margaret Gregory on 31 January 1833. Here, at long last, the dead could be hygienically committed to the ground in 54 acres of landscape splendor, far away from the living. Burial at Kensal Green was expensive, the cheapest grave costing about 30 shillings, compared with the 12 shillings charged at Inham Chapel. But Enon could not match the classical grandeur of Kensal Green, with its hydraulic lift to lower the coffins from the Anglican chapel into the depths of the catacombs below. In the 39 acres of consecrated ground awarded to members of the established church, and in the 15 acres given over to Turks, Jews, infidels, and heretics, and unbaptized folk, the dead could rest undisturbed in perpetuity under any form of memorial they wished. Gothic spires and pinnacles, Doric and Ionic columned mausoleums, or Egyptian obelisks. From the very beginning, Kensal Green was the place in which to be buried. This early success can be put down. Oh my god, something's coming.
All the dogs got out.
Out the front?
Yeah.
Okay, so where's Nova?
They just now left.
Nova left?
Yeah.
What the crack, dude?
You're the only one with us.
Oh my god. Can you open the door and call the dogs?
I was calling them, but they wouldn't come. Lou's following Herc. Herc's going down the driveway. Lulu's following Herc, and Zoe and Herc's following Zoe.
Holy shit, dude. Oh my god. Let me call your dad. Holy shit, this is not good. So who opened the door? Did you guys open the door to let the puppy in?
I was the last one out, and I was just about to close the door, and then...
Damn it.
Yeah, the puppy was out there, and Zoe went after the puppy. That clogged up the door, and so did Herc's head, and then Blue came out.
Oh my god.
But Bean's killing.
Babe, so Floyd's in here right now, and he said all the dogs got out just now. Okay, yeah, because I guess they all just followed each other down the driveway. I don't know what to do. Hopefully when you come out, you can whistle for them and they'll come, but I don't know. Okay. Alright.
Yeah,
holy fuck.
Blue was following Herc, the
Say
puppy
hi.
was... Hi.
Alright, love you, babe.
Blue. Yeah. So Herc, the puppy, following Blue, and then
Oh, no.
Herc was following Zoe.
This is not good.
I'm gonna take this off and I'm gonna run because I can't.
Okay, so Dad's at the speedway. He just barely left, so he's gonna try to get the dogs. Okay. Thank God. Holy shit. Had he been further away, I would be like, cut and take. We're done. Shit. Holy shit. It's like, what the hell? So letting the dogs in and okay, so the puppy is very tiny. And Zoe, she's my hippo piggy woo. So, you know, she's a wide glide. Like, she's about as wide as me. Coming through the door, and then all the dogs got out. Holy fuck. I'm so glad that Vern's there. Okay, let's try to find our way back in this book. Damn. I read that. Sorry. I have congestion from a cold. to send this. I meant to send this earlier. Holy shit! This is not good. Okay, burial at Kensal Green was expensive. Already talked about that. From the beginning of Kensal Green was the place in which to be buried. The early success can be put down to the internment of one man, Augustus Frederick, Duke of Sussex, 1773 to 1843. It was he, more than any other, who made the cemetery an acceptable place to be. The burial of the so appalled at the chaos that attended the internment of King William the Fourth. I'm so bad at Roman numerals. At Windsor in 1837, and he forthwith resolved to be buried at Kensal Green. A host of lesser royals followed, including George III's daughter, Princess Sophia, 1777 to 1848. Funny, because I look at my my lineage, and it was crazy because, like, my dad's side is totally Irish. My mom's side is Irish too, but there's a lot of royalty in there, and so I'm just like, when I read this, I'm like, is that somebody I'm related to? And then the girl I caretake for, sorry, right in my face. Like, if you're related to this royalty, how come you're not rich? I'm like, well, you know, look at the Irish. That's how it goes. Look, I can't believe the dogs got out. Anyways, let's try to continue. So, visitors to the cemetery can still peep through the windows of the Duke of Cambridge's mausoleum and gaze at his coffin, placed upon a shelf on the right-hand side. To the left, one on top of the other, rest the coffins of his wife and mistress. Though fashionable did Kensal Green become that it can still boast the greatest number of royals buried outside Windsor and Westminster Abbey. The variety of people buried in Kensal Green matches the variety of the architecture. Here were laid to rest in Sombard Kingdom, Brunel, the engineer, novelist Wilkie Collins, Thackeray and Trouble, and Rondine, who walked the tightrope across Niagara Falls. Good to go. James Barry, 1788 to 1865, was an army surgeon who became Inspector General of Hospitals. It was only at his death that the absence of a penis decreed that he was, in fact, a woman who had successfully concealed her true gender throughout a long and active career. Horses. So it's so funny to me how, like, oh, well, you're a woman, so you can't do this job. Really? We're hacking off pieces and we're throwing shit out the window. Pretty sure a woman can do this just as well as a man. I don't know. Am I frozen up? It seems to be. I hope it keeps going good. Oh yeah! Keep going. Yeah, this is pretty grotesque. But yeah, I remember, like, there's certain places over there in, like, Pennsylvania and other places like that that are very haunted because there was hospitals and Civil War grounds and everything like that, and limbs and legs and whatever were thrown out the window into piles, and they just piled up, and then somebody had to take it away, and a lot of these were buried in mass graves, but not very cool. And Kensal Green is London's most disguised or distinguished cemetery. Highgate is its most romantic, overlooking the capital. The cemetery affords an unparalleled setting in which to while away eternity. Slowly, the friends of Highgate Cemetery are pushing back the overgrowth and repairing the crumbling masonry to reveal again the grandeur of this Victorian Valhalla. Highgate Cemetery, founded in 1839 by the London Cemetery Company, was always meant to be enjoyed by the living, and very soon it became a favorite place for Victorians to go promenading on a Sunday afternoon. And as for the dead, so popular did the cemetery become, especially when the ban on churchyard burials finally came into force in 1852. That more land was soon needed on the other side as Swains Lane to accommodate all those wishing to be buried there. The west and east cemeteries were linked by a tunnel under the road which is still in existence, through which the coffin was carried after it had been lowered on a hydraulic lift in the floor of the Anglican chapel. Although the monuments in Highgate are not of the variety of quality of those at Kensal Green, the Egyptian catacombs, built in a circle around an ancient cedar tree, stand today in magnificent and romantic decay. I want to go there and see it. Welcome back, Jason. Towering above the Egyptian catacombs is the vast mausoleum of Julius Beer, Victorian owner of the Observer newspaper. And gray hair is like Kensal Green, Highgate catered predominantly for the most mortem needs of Anglicans, and the area given over to the dissenters was small and relatively unsalubrious. How then did Beer, a Jew, come to occupy the most favored site in the whole of the cemetery? Wealth? No. But Beer was able to buy the plot for £800 and built his huge edifice, which was modeled impressively on the original mausoleum at Halicarnassus. Many years was obliged to make the significant concession to Anglican sensitives. His mausoleum had to be roped with a cross, quintessential Christian symbol. The West Cemetery was a profusion of petrified animals. Cemetery? I don't know if you guys hear the howling in the back. Like, that is really distracting. Anyways, George Womwell made his money from importing wild animals, including
Zoe
and the baby. Okay. The blue and I hear somebody back here. Did you guys look in the side yard? Because I hear a dog barking back there.
We're in the side yard.
Well, I hear somebody barking back there.
In the field.
Oh, well, if he's in the field, he's okay. Just as long as they don't go towards the highway.
Away. We don't see him.
Yeah. Is that howling I hear? Is that Lily yelling for the dog?
Yeah. She's yelling for Blue, and I showed her the...
I'll go. Wait. If you can't whistle, go weet. Like that. I should be going on break here in about 25 minutes. But I'm sorry, dude. Like, that's scary. But did Dad come back? Because I called him and he was at the store and they're looking for the dogs.
They were dogs down here too. Nova got Lily, and Zoe came back herself.
Yeah, Zoe's a pretty good dog. And Lulu generally follows her.
They got in their car and I told I heard him.
I just heard a dog barking back there.
No, not back there. That was Blue. But
so Blue's back?
I went down. No,
Blue's here?
No, he's
No.
in the field.
Oh, well, I just heard him barking back here.
That very loud barks.
I know. He's very loud and obnoxious.
Oh, I
Go help your sissy. She's out there alone.
yeah.
Good job, boy.
He's either done at the speedway or he's back to the
Yeah.
right.
Hopefully they're in the field and not by the highway. That's a bad place for dogs. Ooh. 40 shit dogs. Drama for your mama. Okay, so I'm trying to find my point. However, he was obliged to make a significant concession to Anglican sensitives. His mausoleum had to be topped with a cross and quintessentially Christian symbol. Sorry, I'm tongue-tied. West Cemetery was a profusion of petrified animals. George Cromwell made his money from importing wild animals, including, this is where I was, first boa constrictors ever to be seen in Britain, and a giraffe which cost B9 sleeping lion John him a fortune, and which probably broke his neck. Oh no. The rest beneath a benign sleeping lion. John Atcheller, horse slaughterer to Queen Victoria, has a grave marker by a statue of a horse described by one early critic as monstrosity, which today stands legless and deaf, its forelegs and its ears having been hacked off by vandals. Tom Sayers, bare-fisted pugilist, died a popular hero with 100,000 mourners attending his funeral, his dog given the place of honor at the head of Sayers' funeral cortege and wearing a black roof around its neck. Is commemorated in a stone guarding his master's grave. Conspicuous by the absence of dogs is the grave of George Croft, 1852 to 1938, founder of the world-famous dog show. So here we have a picture of rows of coffins in decaying splendor in the catacombs of Kensal Green Cemetery, London, for there is good news yet to hear and fine things to be seen before we go to paradise, by way of Kensal Green. And this is by GK Restaurant. Lily, I feel bad she's out there, dude. I'll go help on Music Break, which is gonna be good. We got Mia Savage, Antidote for Savage. So the most visited grave of Highgate is also the most grotesque. An outsized bust of Karl Marx looks severely down, extolling workers of all lands to unite to change the world. Something of Marx's private world is revealed by the fact that he, like the Duke of Cambridge at Kensal, is revealed by the fact that so the Kensal at Green shares his grave with both wife and mistress. Oh, lucky fella. You get to share your grave with your wife and your mistress? Good for you. Boop, boop. Damn. Never mind. I'm not going to say the name. I'm going to be like, Dave something. What? The somberness of Marx is offset somewhat by an in-joke of the Friends of Highgate Cemetery. On the other side of the path lies Herbert Spencer, the philosopher who coined the phrase survival of the fittest. It is fitting, therefore, that this corner of the cemetery is known as Marks and Spencer's. For feminists who may be indignant that men share their graves with their wives and mistresses, perhaps the imbalance is somewhat redressed by the female novelist George Eliot, who was buried in Highgate next to her husband. John Cross, and opposite her lover, George Lewis. But yeah, isn't that funny? So men can, have mistresses, but females of high power can have misters. Hey, mister. Another famous female novelist is also buried with her lover, Radcliffe Hall, author of The Well of Loneliness. There's her catacomb with Mabel Veronica Batten. The love of these two women for one another had shocked Edwardian society. Batten died suddenly in 1960, Hall not until 1943, and it was the intention of her second lover, Una Shoebridge, to join the other two women when she herself died. Unfortunately, Shoebridge died in Rome in 1963 and was buried in Italy. Other notables resting in the rich Highgate clay include Michael Faraday, chemist and physicist, William Foyle, who founded what has become the world's largest bookshop, Mrs. Henry Wood, the melodrama version of whose novel East Line contains the immortal line, "Dead, and never called me mother," and Robert Liston, the surgeon resurrectionist. Fuck, resurrectionist? That's fucking crazy. Excuse my French. Cuckoo for cuckoo. Oy vey. Who amputated his patient's limbs and his assistant's digits with equal dexterity. Good for him. Highgate has witnessed 3 famous exhumations. The reader is reminded of Dante Rossetti's retrieval of poems, which he'd been brash enough to bury next to his wife's cheek. Oh yeah, I read this earlier, like they had to dig her up just to get this back from her. Because he's like, okay, yes, I buried it with her because I love her, but I need to dig this back up. Publish it. So, that's okay. Damn! Okay, so it was buried next to his wife's cheek. Was guilt the reason he had elected to be buried at All Saints, Workington, and Kent? Karl Marx and his family present sight to enable busloads of Chinese tourists to find him more easily. The third exhumation took place in 1907 amid a blaze of publicity whipped up by the Yellow Press. Thomas Charles Drews, who owned a shop in Baker Street, had supposedly died in 1864 and was buried at Highgate. 15 years later, in 1879, when the 5th Duke of Portland died, Drews's family made the remarkable claim that Drews and the Duke were one and the same man. They contended that the Duke had led a double life, part aristocrat, part shopkeeper, and that he had been able to maintain this elaborate charade by using a tunnel which connected the shop in Baker Street to his residence in Cavendish Square. Add credence to their account, Drews's relatives pointed out that no one had ever seen Drews and the Duke in the same place at the same time. When finally the Duke, tired of his double life, decided to kill off his alter ego and to continue the rest of his life as a hermit in Welbeck Abbey, his country seat. Portland millions were at the bottom of this fantasy. In order to get their hands on the money, Drews's relatives claimed that Duke as their father and themselves as his heirs. They demanded as exhumation to prove to the world that the Drews's coffin was filled with lead weights. Incredibly, the authorities agreed to their request. Fully 19th century 19 years after Druce's death, on a December morning, the coffin was brought to the surface, its lid removed, and the inner lead casing opened. Inside is the shrouded body of an old bearded man who was identified from photographs as Thomas Charles Druce. The public immediately lost interest in the story, and consequently, no one has ever thought to exhume the Duke to see whether or not he was actually in residence. It's hard for those of us living in the 1990s to imagine the grisly horror of the overcrowded and insanitary burial grounds of Dickens' London, but there still remains one which affords us such a glimpse into the past. It is Bunhill Fields, Dissenters' Camposanto, the sole remaining burial ground within the present city of London. To stroll through Bunhill is to take a step back in time. In 1549, can you imagine? That's a long time ago. The Carnal Chapel in St. Paul's Churchyard was pulled down and 1,000 cartloads of bones were transported and deposited on Moorish ground. In Finsbury Field, Bunhill is probably a corruption of Bone Hill. Burials on the site did not commence until the mid-17th century. So popular did Bunhill become that by its closure in 1853, 120,000 interments had taken place. Bunhill Fields is like no other burial ground in London. Sedate chest tombs, tightly packed headstones, and the virtual absence of angels. So did Dad take the Dodge or my car? He did? There's a flashlight in there that you can, it's got a very big scope on it where you can like magnify and like do bright lights, but it's in the car, so. Dad's out there looking for the dogs too, so you guys are doing this. I still hear Lily calling, but Dad's out there looking too. It'll be okay.
He's in the field, please.
Dude, I'm almost on break. I have about like 5 to 8 minutes. I'll come out and help you, okay? Dude, don't be sad. Be okay, he'll come back. He's a good boy. Don't be sad, boy. Love you. He'll come back. He's a good boy. Floyd. Okay, so where were we? In 1549, the Carnal Chapel in St. Paul's Churchyard was pulled down, and 1,000 cartloads of bones were transported and deposited on Moorish ground. In Finsbury Field, Bunhill is probably a corruption of mid-17th century. Yes, I already read this. Bunhill Fields is like no other burial ground in London. Sedate chest tombs, tightly packed headstones, and the virtual absence of angels, crosses, draped urns, and broken columns set Bunhill apart. Its tombstones like a who's who of English nonconformism, George Daniel Defoe, author of Robinson Crusoe, John Bunyan, preacher and author of Pilgrim's Progress, and Susanna Wesley, mother of John and Charles. Praise God, Barebones, who gave his name to the Barebones Parliament of 1653, and sundry descendants of Oliver Cromwell. One famous inscription tells of the vicissitudes of Mary Page, who died in 1728 of a failing heart which necessitated fluid being drained from her abdomen. So here we have the burial fields, burial ground in 1860s. I feel so bad. These kids are trying so hard. Here's another picture. A section through Thomas Wilson's Pyramid Cemetery, designed to be higher than St. Paul's Cathedral, with alcoves to provide the last resting place for, what the fuck? 5,167,104 Londoners. When 67 months, she was tapped 66 times for taking away 240 gallons of water without ever ripening at her case or even fearing the operation. Oh my god, look at this. This is insane. That's gross. Jason, look at the road. Don't look at this. My own favorite is an inscription which enshrines the non-conformist sentiments concerning friendship even unto this grave. It says, Mrs. Elizabeth Raynor, early allied in blood to the illustrious house of Percy, deemed a still greater honor to be the friend and fellow worshipper of Mr. and Mrs. Lindsay, and by her own desire was deposited in the same grave. Friendship, pure, simple, and eternal, with none of the undertones of Marx or the Duke of Cambridge. Similar instance occurred in Godalming, Surrey, in 1875. William Bishop directed that his grave be made sufficiently large to receive 2 coffins, the second intended for his servant, in gratitude for her long and, I believe, faithful services to me. Before leaving the subject of London cemeteries, it is instructive to look at one idea that never got beyond the drawing board. Thomas Wilson took his inspiration from the Egyptian pyramids and set about designing a brick and granite faced pyramid to accommodate 5 million bodies, and brick and granite faced pyramid to niches arranged on 94 tiered levels. This vast construction Yeah?
We saw a black ball on.
Yeah?
Oh.
Guess what? I have about 5 minutes and then I'll come out and help you.
No, text.
No, I called Dad. Dad's out there looking right now.
Yeah, but we think we found him.
Yeah, is he in the field? Just playing around?
Past the hours.
Yeah. Yeah, he's over there, like close to the sheep and stuff. You know, he's a herd dog. Like, he's a black German shepherd, like shepherd dog. So he's probably attracted to animals, but he'll come back. But yeah, I have like 5 more minutes on the show.
You do something that the time goes.
Really fun. Like, eat popcorn and watch scary movies.
And then if it's more than 5 minutes and you come out. Next time. Get blue.
I already called him, and he was at the Speedway, and they were waiting for Elise to come out. So she probably finally came out, and then now they're driving around trying to find these damn frickin' dogs.
Can you tell him where he's...
No, he's doing his own thing, so when I go to break, I'll come out and take him.
He's definitely...
He's definitely not dead, but he's definitely not sleeping. He's just having fun.
Not running away. He found this spot that he likes.
Yeah, probably by the foxes. Yeah, there's foxes out there in the little, like, alcoves. Like where the ditch drain is, they dug little holes, and that's where the foxes live. So he's probably like, hey, foxes, I'm close and familiar to you.
there's no doe around that area, so Blue will run away.
No, he won't. He's a good boy. He'll stay close.
Yeah, he just.
But I think Bean and Herc, they'll run far and wide.
Herc is.
But Zoe and little Lulu, she's back, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, Herc is.
I know Herc is a bad boy. Like, he likes to run and run and run. He should fucking be like.
He's not outside. I was on the first
No.
step and I.
No, he's outside. Like, he's far and wide. Like, he should be a husky because that's how much he runs. But him and Bean are probably down at the park or somewhere looking for dogs to beat up because they have fun with that.
I am telling you that Herc is.
Is he here?
I was on the first step. I would have seen
Is he
him.
here?
I would have seen him.
Is he here?
Probably.
If he's here, then he's here. If not, he's outside and he's running amok. Him and Bean, they're buddies. They're like this. They're like, let's go! And they've gotten in trouble before. And it's sad, but Dad might have to put him down because last time they beat up another dog. They didn't really hurt him, but it wasn't.
We are not being ugly.
It's not up to us. It happens, and the law says, oh, this has happened again. You might have to, but hopefully Dad finds him. So Dad's out there trying, and I heard you out there yelling, and like trying to get the dogs back. So good job. Give me a high five. You kicked ass on that. I know, and it's just like you guys were trying to let Hippo Piggy Woo and the puppy in, and they got out.
Which is it's his fault. The door.
It's okay.
And it's
So he
not
didn't
his-
close it?
Yeah, but it was my fault. And think about.
Well,
closing the
you know,
door.
at least you guys are sharing the blame, and that's good. You guys have a little muffins. Like, you guys can be
And-
partners in this.
He also probably was flipping.
I know, he came in here
and he couldn't run.
he's like,
That was most
"Ah!"
of my fault.
But even if you could run,
Cause
you can't keep up with the dogs. Like, they run so fast and so far. Especially Herc and Bean. They're just like, gone.
Yeah.
Oh,
See
man.
him now, you don't.
Yep. You too, bud. Well, I was going to continue to read, but that note, boys and girls, we do have to go to our first music break. So on this break, we have Ms. Mia Savage with her group Antidote for Savages with Your Skeleton, Lemurian Crypto, Let Me Be Your Home, and Our New Reality. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this music break. is about 20th.
Take me to your leader or leave me alone. Somebody please take me out. Rest of time. that he brings anymore. You're mine. You're mine. Tonight. You're mine. Lost souls in a sea of broken hearts. Won't let you fall apart. We'll make a brand new start. When you're coming back, I wanna take a ride. I wanna show him love. I wanna knock him down. Come with me to our new reality. You don't need all the shit that he brings anymore. You're mine. You're mine. Tonight. You're mine. Come with me to our new reality. You don't need all the shit that he brings anymore. You're mine. You're mine. Tonight. You're mine. You're mine. You're mine.
So I'm trying to get Floyd to...
Welcome back, and thank you so much for joining us this evening on We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. I don't know if you guys can hear me, like, things are going kind of crazy right now. So I see I'm bouncing here on Spreaker. I almost said Periscope. That was a long time ago. But things are bouncing over here. Okay, welcome back. What the heck is going on here? So I'm going to have to end the broadcast and try to restart it? I don't freaking know.
Mom, Can you tell me to tell Floyd that you said to get Floyd to watch a movie? It's not fair.
I don't know what sort of movie that you want to
Scary
do.
movie.
Scary movie. Definitely do that. Jeez, oh Pete. Return to dashboard. Oh my gosh, this shit has just gone crazy. Create. Live stream. This, that. Story time. What in the butt? Create broadcasts. Okay. A title is required. What? Yes, have one. Those caramels are evil.
What do you mean they're evil?
Oh, they stick to your teeth? Robert Wilkins. Okay, so hold on. Robert Wilkins book. Death. Oh my gosh. Oh no. At least Bina's back. Oh no. Okay, so death and Reddit. It's hard to type with these nails on. Okay, let's go. Are you freaking serious? This is ridiculous. Why is everything going freaking crazy? Just because the dogs got out doesn't mean everything else has to go crazy. With me. Oh, Ghost Tori did this? Yeah, this is not cool. Stories. Come on, Nels, work with me. We're supposed to work together here. What the crap is happening? This is dumb. Is this gonna work now? I don't know. Okay, so it says enter studio. Enter study. You need to go wash your face and put some Vaseline up here.
Mom,
Lily, I'm telling you.
are you on your after show?
No, I'm not. I'm still trying to do my show.
And are you going to be on your after show?
At 10, and it's only 8:21. So this is not good, okay? Yeah, you need to go blow your nostrils, clean up your upper lip, and put some Vaseline on that. It'll fix your beautiful face. Goodbye, David the Who at Who. Come on, man. No, you just get the heck out of here. Bye, man. He's trying to be like a goblin in my corner, and that's not cool. Lily, I'm telling you what.
I'm a goblin
You need to go bye-bye now.
I'm a goblin in the corner.
Yeah, you are, and you need to stop that. Shh. Be quiet, little minion. Bye-bye. Au revoir. Get.
The goblin in your
Get out. Okay, so this is a chaotic show. I'm sorry, you guys, but please go.
The goblin
Give me a high five. Good job
the goblin
at calling the dogs, but please go and wash your face and put some Vaseline on your lip. Because instead of being red, now it's blue. I don't know what you did, but go fix it.
I drank soda.
Yeah.
Blue soda.
Yeah, go fix it. Bye, man. Jeez, oh, Pete. Anywho's. Like I said, welcome back, and thank you so much for joining me this evening on We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. So nobody's on here, so I'm just gonna... Oh my god. What?
Goofy thing. Takes. Not putting on a scary.
On the pewter?
Yes.
Oh, well, he has to do something that you can both do.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, well, guess what? Bedtime's pretty soon. So, tell Floyd to get off of World of Tanks and turn on a movie.
Okay.
Jeez. What the crack? So for our background soundtrack, we have The Creeper. Oh my gosh. These dogs are running amok. Sorry about the sound issues and everything. Like, I don't even know what the hell is going on. And I don't even need these headphones on anymore. So we got most of the dogs back. Blue and Herc is still out and about, running amok. But we are going back to our Book of Death by Robert Wilkins. Welcome back. I think that's Jason. I'm not sure. Sorry, my ears are plugged up. So friendship pure, simple, and eternal, with none of the undertones of Marx or the Duke of Cambridge. A similar instance occurred in Gordon. Arranged on 4-tiered levels, this vast construction was to be built in Primrose Hill. Its base, the size of Russell Square, is height considerably above that of St. Paul's, and its volume larger than the Great Pyramid itself, consisting of row upon row of small alcoves. In the cross-section, the pyramid would resemble a beehive. An observatory was planned for the top. The whole structure was to cost £2,500,000. Wilson himself waxed lyrical. To toil up its singular passages to the summit will beguile the hours of curious and impressed feelings of solemn awe and admiration upon every beholder. Modesty, he added, that his pyramid would be a coupe de, the seal of sepulchral magnificence. On 94. See this? Where the heck did this come from? Because there was a period, okay, the 1890s. The burgeoning population of the capital meant that the demand for land continued to outstrip the supply. Burial companies were obliged to look further afield, even though they knew that the greater distance a cemetery was from London, the less the likelihood that it would be affordable by families and modest means. Another consequence of distance was that the deceased would be less likely to be visited regularly, and thereby more likely to be forgotten sooner by relatives. It became apparent to the cemetery entrepreneurs that if the poorest classes were to be tempted into being buried long distances from the center of the city, transportation costs must be kept to a minimum. The plan was deceptively simple: to find a large enough piece of land and turn it into London's sole necropolis, big enough to accommodate London's dead virtually and indefinitely. The idea was regularly mooted, but took on an added urgency following the cholera epidemic of 1848 to 1849, which killed close to 15,000 Londoners. Two men, Sir Richard Braun and Mr. Richard Spire, resurrected the idea of a single necropolis far enough out of London to pose no health danger to its citizens. Braun suggested a site at Woking in Surrey to which the dead and bereaved would be transported by train. The idea did not win universal approval. So here we see a coffin being loaded aboard Brookwood Necropolis Railway at Westminster Bridge Road Station, 1905, circa 1905. The funeral party have just emerged from a private waiting room. Pretty intriguing, I must say. Welcome back, whoever's looking. Sorry about the whole crazy shenanigans with the dogs. Bean's back, everybody's back except for Herc, which he's the ringleader. He leads dogs astray. So he's led Bean, now he's leading Blue, and it's not cool. So let me stop the camera just to see. Okay, my sound is still coming through. So the idea did not win universal approval. Let me come back on camera. Here we are. Holy shit. So the idea did not win universal approval, and the Bishop of London found the proposal to have the dead from widely different social backgrounds, all traveling in the same train, offensive. Finally, the idea gained acceptance, and in 1854, Brookwood Cemetery near Woking was consecrated. The Necropolis Railway ran from Waterloo in London to the North Station at Brookwood. For Roman Catholics, Jews, Parsees, and the dissenting sects, and thence to the South Station, where the Anglican dead were unloaded. The railway continued to operate until the destruction of the London terminal in Second World War. Today, both the cemetery stations are long gone, only the platforms remaining as a mute reminder of a once flourishing trade. And then here we have no return, a third-class coffin ticket on the Brookwood Necropolis Railway. So here's that picture. Glad you're back, glad you can. This is so weird, like. Okay, sounds like it's working. Thank goodness. So considerations of a social class pervaded everything about the Necropolis Railway. The train was divided into two religions, Anglican and others. On the compartment of difference shown by the Necropolis staff when loading and unloading. In addition, rich relatives were allowed to watch the coffin being transferred from hearse to train. In the early days, when the train trenched and reached Brookwood, the engine was uncoupled and the compartments would then be pulled the remaining distance by a team of black horses beckoned with black ostrich feathers. That was such a fleur of importance. What the crack is going on here? So this is so weird. So earlier the kids came in, they're talking about the dogs, and then I had one thing and then another thing popped up. So it was me facing me, like me versus me, and now it's me with all my shows underneath. Like, what the fuck is happening right now? I don't know, but hopefully it's working out. Yay! Okay, now I see you. I see you, sissy. But could you imagine like black horses with ostrich feathers, and they're just like, and they have those different like masks on, which it would kind of couple around the eyes like this and go down the nose, and then there's feathers going back. That'd be beautiful. Really, it would. A brochure produced by the Necropolis Company invited the bereaved, after the funeral service was over, to pause and admire the scenery, to be invigorated by the fresh country air, the shrubs and trees, and the contemplate the noble sight of which their departed relative or friend had become renant. Normally, to travel by train, when dead, was expensive. Indeed, in 1870, Miss Kitty Jenkins Pack insisted that if she died away from home, her coffin was to be disguised by enclosing it in a plain deal box and transporting it by train to Poole so as to cost no more than any other indoors, and by the degrees. Oh shit. I don't think so. No, she's asking if I have any other pictures of Blue. But I don't think so. Damn it, these damn dogs. I think I hear them barking in the distance, but who's to say? Jeez, Pete. Come on. Let's put this in. Normally to travel by train. Okay, so we already talked about this. With such considerations in mind, and in order to attract customers, the London Necropolis Railway needed to offer cheap transportation. They decided on a charge of £1 for first-class corpses.
Who's back?
Yay! Okay, let me tell Noah.
Who's back? Who's back? He's back.
Where's Herc?
Not here.
Okay, well, high five, son. I knew your boy would be back. Give me a high five.
Wait, Blue one last time, and then he came barging in. Typing, but Herc's still.
Herc is still gone.
Herc's still gone.
Hey, I'm glad your boy came back. I knew you were pretty sad about that.
Yeah, I'm like, my soda's outside. Opens the door. Wait, no, please come back. Closes the door, not all the way. Blue comes barging in. Yeah! I got trampled. He bit my arm. Not so much.
He was just excited to be back home. He's like, oh, I was lost, and I was so scared.
I got trampled by him, but I was so happy.
Give me a hug, son. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy your dog came back. I knew he would. He's a good boy.
Just
and he misses Blue.
Just as Fleet started dragging me out the door. No, actually, she's like, you'll have to drag me there to get your soda. And I was just like, no, I grabbed her.
You guys are crazy.
It was like, this is the completely wrong time to come in, so I'm gonna come in.
You're like, hey, am I in trouble? I don't know.
You're not in trouble, Blue.
Fucking Herc, dude. He's such a troublemaker.
I know, but...
Well, at least you're not crying and you look happier and, you know, you're showing your face to the world, but get the heck out. Come on. Still trying to finish this party show. One. Love you, boy. I'm so happy for you. I'm glad your boy came back. No, you missed him. Make sure he don't get out again, okay?
I'm going to squeeze him with the tightest hug.
And make sure you keep giving your pee-pee doggy pee-pee breaks. She needs it, but
She's
yeah, don't let the other dogs out. But yeah,
Lulu is still sleeping.
right as soon as she wakes up, let her out, okay?
I know.
All right. I love you. Good job, guys. Okay, so coffin tickets were issued only as singles. The corresponding charges for the mourners were 6 shillings, 3 cents pence, and $6 and 2 shillings. These concessionary prices gave themselves of the amenities of the Surrey courses, used to disguise themselves as bereaved relatives in order to save money on the regular commuter fare. Bum bum ba-dum. Chapter 2: Cremation. So, a lot of us who have gone through death with our family, as my father, he was LDS throughout his life, so...
He smells very...
He's probably been rolling in cow shit or something, like, make sure he stays off...
It smell like poo.
Probably swamp water. Make sure he's
Yeah,
the furniture.
Exactly like that.
Yeah. Come off the furniture. Bye!
Let it go.
You're my bestest boy. No, I love you more than that. You'll never know how much I love you. You're my bestest boy. But anyways, my dad and my uncle being raised LDS and talking about the resurrection, etc., they wanted to be buried in full. But how do we afford this? Do you have burial insurance? No. So, therefore, you have to be cremated. But I think God is actually a thing, like, oh God, the universe, I call it different things. And I had an argument today with someone. Well, God is the universe. God is everything that we know. God is. So when it's the message from the universe, actually a message from God. But if we do come back for the second coming or what, or the end of times, for that very last battle, like even past World War III, even if you're in ashes, I think if God is who He says He is, He can reclaim you. Like all your ashes can scroll together, even though some are left in the bottom of the bin. Not all of them make it into the box, and they admit that. They're like, yeah, it's not all there. It shall be how it shall be. You shall be who you shall be. Like, if we are meant to come back in the end of times to fight against Satan and the underdwellers and the demons and all this other shit, if we're cremated, if we're buried, whatever the fuck you are, if your head is cut off and you're in one of those frozen factories, you'll come back. If it's meant to be, it will be. Right? So this is a chapter on cremation. So that's where that was going. Realistically, there are only 3 things you can do with a dead body. Leave it, bury it, or burn it. Burn it! Burial is the disposal of choice for those who hanker after extended recall, since a fixed end serves as a focus at which relatives can gather and remember. Religious objections apart, the opposition to cremation is a mode of disposal of the dead centered around the belief that to be reduced to ashes made it more likely or unlikely that a person would be remembered than if a corpse disintegrated in a coffin. What do you need?
Louisiana.
Now take out a piece of paper. Use that. Yeah.
I'll put a bunch of paper. Us does it just.
Yeah, well. Hi, Lily. Love you too, Lilius Interruptus. I hope not. Holy shit. Been intense. Okay, so religious objections apart. Early opposition of cremation as a mode of disposal of the dead centered around the belief that to be reduced to ashes made it more likely that a person would be remembered than if a corpse disintegrated in a coffin. The increasing acceptance of cremation, especially in Britain but latterly in the United States, owes much of the reversion of such a logical thinking. Cremation has a long history, though experts are unclear whether human ashes discovered in prehistoric period represent the mode of death or the method of disposal of the dead. Okay, so think back to like the Vikings. Wrap up a body, they built this big old thing, they send you off in a ship, and then they shoot out these arrows that are flaming arrows. So, much cremated you could be before you do sink to the depths of the sea, but romantic. Wouldn't want to go that way. So in ancient Greece, cremation replaced burial as early as BC. Reduction to ashes greatly eased the logistical problems of transporting back to Greece soldiers who had died on far-flung battlefields. To the Greeks, fire symbolized purification and the release of the spirit from the confines of the body. Cremation was defined to suicides and those infants who had died before cutting their first set of teeth. Intriguingly, victims of lightning were always buried. Perhaps the Greeks assumed that it was pointless for humans to cremate after the gods had incarnated. Okay, so I have to tell you this story of when my friend was cremated. So he was working in a funeral home, and he was learning on the do's and don'ts and whatnot. And at the same time, him and his old lady were tweaking. Well, he came home when he had done the last of the meth, and I'm not gonna name names. So he struck her. He always swore he'd never do that. And he did, so therefore, he called different friends. Of course, girls, I recommend it ain't worth it. Like one hit, and that's it. That's all it takes. But yeah, Jenny Crank, tweak for a week. That was good diet for me. It really did work. But it was not good. We're hiking up this mountain, and we get to this place, and there's this fucking shrine built, and this shrine was built for people before him. And there's different cubbies and different shit like this, and there's pictures, and so we took a picture that day, and we spread his ashes. I swear to God, I saw this with my very own eyes. So, my sister, I'm gonna call her the S word, was spreading the D word's ashes. I swear to God, like, the very last part that came out came up, and yes, the wind is blowing, but floated around and it formed his body. I saw him in ash form, his body, and he reached out like this and like touched her face, and then he disintegrated and went with the wind. To me, that was like one of the most beautiful things. So freaking beautiful. I couldn't believe it, but he was there and he reached out and touched her face, and I think he was saying, I'm sorry for striking you, and I'm sorry for what I did afterwards, because in his kids today, like, I saw a remembrance of him just recently, and so sad. Don't do it. If you feel like taking your life, tomorrow needs you. We need you. And it's not too much. We're here for you. And you can call, if you're in Colorado, 970-247-5245, or call the Colorado Crisis Line. No matter where you're from, it's 1-844-493-8255. That's 1-844-493-8255, or text TALK to 38255. Go to text, put in the number 38255 and text TALK in the font, and somebody will talk to you. Like me, I don't like phone calls, so if you prefer text, that's a good way to do it. Oh my gosh. The ancient Romans, especially the rich upper classes, cremation was a common mode of disposal of the dead from pre-Christian times and into the 2nd century AD. Explanation for the decline of cremation during the 2nd century is largely unexplained. though some believe that inhumation became the preferred method of disposal because it was regarded as gentler and more respectful. Certainly, as early as AD 31, the Empress Poppaea, kicked to death whilst pregnant by her husband Nero, was, according to Tacitus, inhumed and not cremated, whereby the finger of the dead person was cut off and buried, while the rest of the body was burned. The ashes were then preserved in cinerary urns and placed in niches and columbariums. The Jews buried their dead, reserving cremation for criminals. Saul and his son, the only examples of cremation, and this was restored to only in order to prevent further mutilation of the body by the Philistines. So the bones were subsequently buried. You can read this in 1 Samuel 31, 12 through 13. The Christians followed the Jews and in their abhorrence of cremation regarded it as pagan custom. The central tenor of Christianity was the resurrection of the body, and this belief could not be reconciled with cremation. Though it must be emphasized that for Christians, burial was a belief that life in the other world depended on the physical preservation of the corpse. Ignorant of the symbolism, enemies of Christianity contrived to prevent the burial of Christian corpses and burn them so as to prevent resurrection. Christians themselves were not above using cremation as a bar to everlasting life. Many years after his death in 1834 or 1384, John Wycliffe, then regarded as a heretic, was exhumed and cremated, and his ashes were thrown into the rivers. On that note, boys and girls, we are going to go to our second music break because sorry about all the interruptions and everything. Life happens, life is crazy. That's why our whole thing has been like contrived, and that's why we're reading the book instead of talking to January Yates tonight. But on this break, we once again have Miss Mia Savage with her group Antidote for Savages, and She Shall Be Seen. Bury Me in Heaven, which is one of my favorites. The Bottom Line, Not a Phase, and Singing to Your Grave. You guys don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this music break.
right now between fear and love.
third hour, we generally do Reddit ghost stories. And yeah, my friend out there, he's like, oh, you're dancing. I'm like, yes, this is what I do during the break. I dance to the music. Generally, nobody can see me, but I decided to turn the camera on, and yes, I'm glad you appreciated it. Fun is what it's all about. That's right. Like, if you can't have fun, what's the point? Seriously. So, thank you, Truzado. I love and appreciate you, and thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. So, I can take this. I was just listening to the tunes, trying not to cause any feedback or whatnot. But how's it sounding? Is it sounding good? Alright, my hair is kind of scary. Hair is scary. Hair, Carrie. If you were a hot dog, would you eat yourself? Holy shit, my mic just fell. That's crazy. Hey, shook my head a little too. But I'm glad you're here, Truzado. I love you, my brother. I'm so glad you're here. That is fun is what it's about. Fun is what it's all about. Alright, so let me pick up my phone. Live. Holy Jesus Cristo, yeah. Sounds good. Hair is. I know it goes everywhere. It's all willy nilly. It's so long. Like, should I cut it? I don't know. Like, maybe like. Okay, so maybe I'll go to this point and then like cut. Otherwise, I think I'm good. I don't know what you think, Truzado, but I will take whatever you say. I was also thinking about doing that like sarong sort of cut. So I've done bangs, I've done shit like that in the past, and my hair grows so fast, like you can't even tell. Like, where's the bangs? Okay, so you might be able to tell. Right here is where my bangs is at the moment. Yeah, I've done bangs, but I'm thinking about like doing like the coyote cut or like a sort of sarong. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, I love you, brother. Oh shit. Talking about red lights. I don't want to read that. Something really weird happened with me. Oh, I'm crazy. I need to turn this up. Let me know what you think, Tristan. I think that's better. I'm gonna do a thumbs up, and so this is by you /Holy Smokes 187. Something really weird happened last night. I hope so too. I'm going a little fucking crazy. Around 1 in the morning, I went downstairs to get water. Lights were off, and as I rounded the corner, out of fucking nowhere, Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, sung in a kid's voice, starts playing from literally nothing. Loud enough to clearly hear, but not too loud. I froze for like a minute, looking around, trying to figure out what's going on. Then I slowly went back upstairs. I could still feel my ears. I found to see if I could hear it better. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so my mentor cat, right before she died, she would used to babysit, and she had some crack my snot outside. Sometimes these toys would just like go off on their own, or something really weird would happen. And so she's like, oh, maybe the battery's going bad, whatever. We change the battery, it still go off with no fucking reason. So it's pretty intriguing when stuff like that happens. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Do you have the video that the screenshot is from? Okay, we're not gonna go there, but it's kind of like, looks like a kind of offshoot, so it goes straight this, and it's cement, and there's a UFO, like, flying towards it. Here goes. This one is by you/Mente, M-E-N-T-E _ Aptus, B-A-P. Man, this everything's 19 at the time, and bucks. I was alone, and I was finally a man approached me and asked for a cigarette. Gave it to him, and when he finished talking, he approached me, started hugging me, and I pushed him away. I said to him, I gave you a cigarette. I didn't ask you to touch me. Leave me alone. You make me feel uncomfortable. Come closer. My Aaron started whispering. Whispers. Oh no, I'm paralyzed me mentally. I pushed him away, but I told him to leave, but he sexual things about me. Ended up freaking out and telling him I was going to kill or kick him near me again. He kept going. Those 3 minutes were real long and around the box. There was 2 or 3 people nearby, but no one intervened. My friend. Sometimes I hear it. It's ew. Creeper. That kind of reminds me of like the Greyhound bus where I got on there and this guy, you know, I don't judge people. Oh, this guy looked like a real fucking guy. Unless he starts something and then people around me were watching because I needed a fucking nap, and this guy presumed to like start molesting me, and the people around me like try to stop him, and then I had to stop him because they woke me up, and don't do that. Don't touch me. Those is their run, Lost City of Gold. Let's see where that could be. There's back on the city's location. It's a video, so. Shite. Or was one of them made? But its secret ingredients and technology made the weapon eluded the best minds since. It was also called fire and liquid fire, and was used primarily by the Byzantines to burn away enemies. And what was truly mysterious about this incendiary weapon was that it continued to burn in water, preventing enemies from dousing it by pouring water over it. Matters worse, surface enemy could burn, be it a ship's hull or human flesh. This day, they're still determining exactly the materials and the proportion in which they were used to create the Greek fire mixture. Read more about this secret weapon that saved the Byzantine Empire at 15 PS. Colon //hour humanity.far-creek-fire-d-secret-what-b-fire-d-secret-what-b-that-save-me. Probably, holy shit. This is the cover. Most terrifying weapons. Called where you look from above. Damn it, why am I both there? You're looking from above and you look down, you see the hummingbird, you see the walkman. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's not black, but it's actually brown, and there's some golden red streaks in here. And just recently, like, I don't know if you can see it, but there's some silver. Not a lot. I think I'm gonna be like that chick that has that little tuft like right here. It'll be like a silver streak. It's gonna be amazing. Yeah, but my hair is a mess. I'm like, I will be choking on this shit. Seriously. Get out of my way. Yeah, let's move on. Not intriguing me. Battle Royale, you didn't know you needed Dungeons and Dragons. Have any of you guys seen that movie? I really want to see that because it's going to be an epic movie. I want to see it. I didn't play Dungeons and Dragons forever because I was raised LDS and was told that D&D was the devil, and so, you know, that and the Ouija board and all those bullshit. I did a Ouija board on that training, and I played D&D when I met my husband in like 2, and it's so much fun, especially on mushrooms. Okay, so like I said before, anybody wants to try me some D&D for mushrooms, going to trade, let me know, hit me up DMs. So this one is by you. Mother-papaya-5432. Trying to find this one story, please. A while, I heard the story on this. I've been trying to find it, but been having basic synopsis of Lord. He looks out the window and ends up seeing the dead scene and jumping and the roofs of several houses they drive by. At the end, the shed person stops dancing and the killers are driving by. I don't know, and I listen to scary stories at night. Like, I like Let's Read and also Be Busta. He's got an Australian accent. I love it. And I fall asleep to them because I love I'm at home now. Horror is my favorite. And I need that to go to sleep. Mother-papaya-5432. Trying to find this. Oh, yeah, me too. I love her so much. So this is by you. /@green. AATERNA. I love her so much. I've always been protective of my so beautiful. Long shiny hair, skin as soft as silk, and wide deep eyes. I love her so much that I find myself just obsessed. Get off my land. No, I'd find somebody better in a second. Started with her sharing her phone GPS to track her and from work and school. He had afternoon college courses and would pick up morning and closing shifts. And she bartended at. Would often join her during her keep guys from being too forward. He said she didn't mind them, and she didn't need him to, but knew she was relieved when I step in. Eyes, her big old deer eyes. Eventually, she would turn off GPS on her phone if she was at work or in class, saying I already knew where she would find. I couldn't help but drug her. And what the fuck? Okay. Pause. What? Okay, so you're gonna drug it and plant something in her? The fuck, bitch? This is not cool. On the precipice of being a girlfriend. No. Don't do this. I can't believe she did this. Drug her and then plant a tiny tracking chip under her. Out that night in bars. Many drinks and she got smashed. She's always doing pretty things with her hair and able to make it sexy. Scratched herself in her sleep after a long night of too many shots. Fucking gross. This is. I know. No, it sounds insane, but hear me out. The craziness saved her life. 2 weeks ago, decided to break up with me. It's coming and was my jealous too. She loved me, but she didn't. Hating the possessive neediness and every spare minute I put on. Go to work, to classes, and in the first place. Then I watched her nude of that boyfriend or best friend. Creepy dude. Okay, so it must be new boyfriend. Alright, I have to pull this down. It's bugging me. Then I watched her with her new BF. Creepy dude, she refused. 2 days after she started dating her, or him, her test went to location. Even with jealousy, the desolate place. I went to look. I said, I know it's like underscore. Best way to prove it. Okay, so for context, I'm staying at a haunted hotel. For days, I want to have some FRFG_2. I am a free spirit, okay? Oh, no. I am. Thank you. So, maybe we can talk and chat after this. Herbert being like, this is creepy. And I don't think I want to read on that. Oh, oh, it's Mr. Burns. What the crap? You're paying. Oh, shit. It is. It's Mr. Burns. That shit. That's Mr. Burns. Release the hounds. Yeah, that was gross. Looking like that. Is it how you up for that? You want to chat after this? Why do you hate me? I don't know. That to me is pretty intriguing. one the other night, like when I was pulling the driveway after doing hours of taking. I saw this UAP, and it's just like blinking in the mist. Break out my glasses on. Not the glasses, because I have so like things to me like look like flares. So I put on the glasses and then I could see different colors, and I'm waiting for it to. It's just not. I don't know. So this was by u/Earth Tour. Why do UAPs have lights? Maybe an obvious answer. They're the ones most obvious using the naked eye. What if in actuality the sky is filled with thousands of UAP? Skies are dark. Brian Graves has said he encountered UAP every day during his Atlantic time, and he's heard that that is still the case. Page 9 of the paper. It's important to know how often the phantoms can be observed. That shows that set of observations lasting a few hours allows us to detect one object in a 3x3 area. For an area of 90 by 90 degrees, one can expect objects 1,000 times more. Phantom can be observed in the sky every few seconds. You can go to https://youtube.com/QBTBO. I think this is not the letter O. Number O, U5EMGM?T 1242. Yeah, like I said the other night, I saw one in my driveway. Night sprites? Okay, so, no. Okay, so when I was back in Arkansas, yes. Yes, night sprites and like little kobolds, aka like little gremlin shits. But here in Colorado, I have not experienced that. I have seen UFOs, which are like these orbs with liquid magma like flowing through it. But yeah, I saw it coming in the distance, and it just wasn't moving. It was just like sitting there, and it's just like see like different colors of the light. But I had to put on my spectacles and look a little closer, because like I said, I have astigmatism, so what this looks like stars to me, it's like this. So look at my eyes like, what is it? So I break out my spectacles, put them on, I'm like, oh, nice. So it wasn't sprites, UFO, but what I think I saw was just an airplane coming, but it was going so fucking slow. Like, it didn't make sense. It should have made its way and gone this way and gone towards the airport, but it was just like there. For fucking ever. Why? Why is it so slow? I don't know. So freaking we have a spelunker here. Hi, spelunk. Spelunking. That's pretty interesting to me. But no, I have seen sprites before. And I did have an investigation about fairies. No, because like the other day, me and the girl that I caretake, we were driving, and a helicopter. I'm like, holy shit, is that militant? But I think it was something. Militant. Excuse me. What you're saying, it could have been a helicopter, but no. They don't fly past your place. It was just like there forever. It's like you're waiting. It's kind of like one of those movies where the doors are clopping and you're just like, come on, you can do it. Come on, make your way now. But it did get closer to the point where it could be like some red and green, but I've seen UFOs do that too, so not saying it wasn't a UFO, but could have been a helicopter, could have been some fucking personal aircraft. I don't fucking know, but it's pretty intriguing. Spelunker, do you like spelunkers? They think they're good. They're cover check nose piercings that have little tusks and face. I don't know. I have my ears pierced. I have a bad image. Anyways, let's move on. So, Tom was about 24 at the time. He was the reason we're here. He had 12